Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Did finally manage to pull myself my own copy of the new Dokkanfest INT LR Broly. Managed to get them for the tons of thanks tickets. There was a short on the channel right now if you want to go check that out. Very excited to be trying them out myself. Only 55% and of course level 1 links. So we're trying them out at the bare minimum on his new 200% lead, which I can't lie, I actually really like. 170 lead of the uncontrollable power category is very good in itself, and considering he 200% leads also pure saiyans, movie bosses, and transformation boost, that honestly applies to so many good units. Not only do you have all the Broly units from worldwide alone, Cell Max, who I unfortunately don't have, there's also the Boo units, you know, Easy A Boohan, Fat Boo, Exchange Boo, Perudagon. A ton of units benefit from his 200% lead, and I'm a very big fan of it, especially the extreme class portion of it. So on the rotation, we are partnered with Carnival LR Broly. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter which rotation you start him on because he links up well with, of course, 9th anniversary run, Easy A Tech LR, Carnival LR, all of that. And probably has one of the best active skill conditions in the game, which you can activate immediately. As long as you have a full rotation of uncontrollable power category units or Goku's family category units, or sorry, Goku's family category enemy, you can use it from turn 1, which is exactly what we're going to do. Honestly, love his animations, but after that he did massively raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage to the enemy, then create the domain, which gives uncontrollable power category enemies and allies attack and defense plus 15%, increases damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 15%, and then an additional 10% for characters who also belong to the movie heroes category, which there's a ton of enemies that do belong to that right now, from Beast to the new Supreme Magnificent battle stages we've got. There's a ton. So Broly is an absolute menace to probably quite the majority of tough enemies in the game right now. And with the domain being active, he does have a 1.2 million attack stat with 384k defense, and we also have some kid boost support. We do also have guard active right now because we do have the domain active, along with the fact that he will randomly change key spheres of a certain type to strength key spheres at the start of his attacking turn, along while having that guard. And then also while the domain is active, Broly's attacks become effective against all types of the rest of battle when the character performs an attack while the domain is active. So while the domain is up, we have guard, orb changing, and attacks are effective against all types. Of course, that does no damage, and with the support, we're doing an 18.5 million super attack, where on 18 key, he massively raises attack and defense by 100% for one turn, has a 50% chance of further massively raising attack by 100% for one turn again, which we might have got. So Broly's going to do even more damage, and it will cause Mega Cross damage to the enemy and have a 70% chance of stunning, where you don't really get to utilize that, but we're kind of used to that by now, so it is what it is. On 12 key, which this Broly, for a change, the Broly units always have additionals. This is one of the only Broly units in the game that doesn't actually have built-in additionals whatsoever. So if you are going to be getting any additionals with him, it's coming from the dupe system, it's coming from skill orbs, where he'll massively raise attack and defense by 100% again for one turn. But instead of raising the attack, he has a 50% chance of further raising defense by 30% for one turn, causing cross damage to the enemy and having a 50% chance to stun. So some very nice SA effects indeed. I'm pretty sure while the domain is active, whether it's your Broly's domain or the friend Broly's domain, I think no matter what, I think the other one's domain who isn't active will also benefit from the domain being active as well, which looks to be true. So that means if your Broly's domain is active or the friend Broly's domain is active, the other ones who's not will also have their guard and will also have their attacks effective against all types, which is very nice indeed, because it means both of them benefit from the domain being active. While if you are running dual INT LR Brolys, once the other one's done after 3 turns, you can then pop the friend Broly's domain and then have that going for another 3 turns. So it kind of almost acts as if the domain's running for 6 turns in total, which is very, very nice indeed. Not only that as well, and we said this when we saw his details, almost a week ago at this point, with it being able to be used so quickly, like literally potentially turn 1, and it only lasting 3 turns, it also doesn't overlap with 9th anniversary Broly's domain, which means after this one's done, you could then also use his, which means you have more buffs on the go, but more importantly, as I said, they don't overlap, and you can get 9th anniversary Broly's domain active, and you can get him transformed. So that works out really well. Not only that as well, I'm gonna have to test it, but I don't think, with the amount of damage you do with this team, the amount of damage dealers is on this team, if you then pop both of the new Broly's domains, like one after the other, once the first one ends, I think that's the only time their domain will overlap with the 9th anniversary Broly's domain, and that's only by a turn or 2. So, I mean, you might be able to squeeze all 3 domains into one run, but with the amount of damage you're doing with this team, maybe not. But again, that's something I'm going to have to test. But off the back of his entrance animation, extreme class allies are getting 40% defense for 4 turns. He does start the turn off with 260% attack and defense, along with 60% damage reduction. So combined with the domain being active, that's 60% damage reduction and guard, which is why a lot of the time you're going to want him here, or depending on who you're facing, depending on the typing, depending on maybe even locking, you can actually just swap these 2 around, which I really do like how they're quite interchangeable. But for the most part, while the domain's active, you're going to want him here. So with no support, he does have a 453k attack stat, 319k defense, and what we're going to be putting out on super without any support, aside from the domain active, what are we looking at? 13.6. Now again, I'm not sure if he actually got that coin flip chance of getting the 100% attack, but still, I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. That's still very good damage output. I mean, I've seen a few people on X turn around and say that Broly's not doing enough damage, which I don't really agree with. Like, doing, from what I've seen from him anyway, from 55% with a domain, with support, with neither, to again, Rainbow, I've seen 13, 14, 15, 18 million, even just scraping 20 million attack stats. And that's enough damage. I know we're going into the realms of ridiculous amounts of damage, but that's still good damage output. That's still very solid damage output. I mean, compared to other units from this celebration alone, and other Broly units, is it on Easy A Tech LR Broly's level, who's putting out 20, 30 mil consistently, 40 when he's transformed, and then like 60, 70 mil plus with like support domains once users active? Maybe not. That's absurd amounts of damage that he can consistently do that not many units in the game can do. Is it also on, say, Gohan, who came out with this Broly's level? Again, maybe not. And the same could be said for Carnival LR Broly, who just stacks that quickly and then gets the big active skill buff the rest of the turn where he jumps up to over 20 mil, still while stacking. Is it on that level? No. But what Broly is doing, and I'm going to pop the friend Broly's domain just so we can keep the guard going, the orb changing going, and the attacks effect against all types going as well. What Broly does is still putting out good damage, good solid damage, while supplying so much utility to a team that before this celebration wasn't getting touched. And with all these new Broly units, and also Easy A Team Turles, Uncontrollable Power, which is a new category, is in a very good spot. And I'm missing some of the bigger units as well. I now have Hirudegon, but I don't have Cell Max, and it might be like another 2 units I'm missing. But then Planetary Destruction is in a very good spot right now. Movie Boss is in a very good spot right now. Yes, he only supports Uncontrollable Power category units, but outside of that, you've got 3 big categories that have had major facelifts that are in very good spots now compared to what they were before the celebration even started. And as I said, he's supplying so much utility. He has the 40% defense support for extreme class allies for 4 turns. He puts out, as I said, good solid damage. Is it on the levels of other Broly units? No. Is it on the level of, say, his counterpart? No. but it's still good damage. Defensively though, amazing. 60% damage reduction just off the bat, fantastic. Has guard while the domain is active, and I'm pretty sure from what we've seen, also has guard while the friend Broly's domain's active as well. So basically 6 turns worth of guard. Attacks are effective against all types, and then not only that as well, once you get his revival, which by the way has a revival, which is always very handy, which you don't need Broly to die to trigger it. You can even have Fat Boo on this team and have 2 revivals going. With a friend Broly, that's 3 revivals going. He then supports uncontrollable power category units. Yes, you need to have the revival get active, but if you do, which isn't that difficult to do when you consider how much damage can be done in this game right now, and anyone can die to it, that's a big 60% attack and defense to uncontrollable power category units. Now, the entire team is pretty much uncontrollable power, aside from Easy A Team Turles. That could obviously affect things. You know, if you're not facing a Goku's family enemy and he's sitting in slot 3 or they're sitting in slot 3, you may have to wait an extra turn. However, one unit not benefiting from the support after the revival, yeah, is it a shame? But in the grand scheme of things, they're here to chill in slot 3 and essentially supply support to everyone else. So I don't really mind it too much. Or worst comes to worst, if you have those units, you can take them off. You can put Cell Max on. You can put Int Broly on the team, the Easy A. And there you go. You have a full uncontrollable power category team. So also people saying he's literally restricted to one team and only makes one team good is a lie. Does it kind of delay the domain? Does it slow the team down a little bit? Yes, but by a turn, which really doesn't bother me in the slightest. So while Broly's damage may not be on the levels of some other counterparts around him, he's supplying so much more to categories that needed a lot more help than say the teams that the new SSJ Gohan goes on. And honestly, I love his kit. So we do have a domain active, Easy A Team Turles support. I did just use his active skill as well. And do you know what? I kind of want to see what kind of numbers he's doing, just because we do have all of that extra support. So the only support we're missing is the revival, which we might not get in this video, which is fine. We're more than likely get it in our like actual runs against Beast, etc, etc. 25 mil. He's only stacked twice and has his active skill used. When you're attacking, Int Broly does also get a 100% extra attack. He does also gain an additional key +2 and recovers 2% HP per type keys for obtained. It's not a lot, but combined with his orb changing, every little helps. As Tesco, as the said, always get the advert mixed up. 15.5. Again, is it 20-30 mil? Sure. No, it's not. But it's still solid on top of everything else he does. But that HP recovery he has, again, it's only 2%, but with the orb changing, you get enough orbs, it will add up. From turn to turn, it will end up adding up. So I like that a lot as well. That's another thing you can add to the list that Broly does for this team, is he also heals. Again, it's not a lot, but if you also use Boo units with him as well, you actually get a decent amount of healing combined. Then starting from the 5th turn from his entry, he will revive with 60% HP recovered, or when an ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd as well, which, to be fair, we might actually manage to get active if Tekkel or Broly dies in slot 1, which, I'm not gonna lie, if we get super attack, there's a big chance that happens. So I've actually got my fingers crossed for that. Super attack him. Didn't super attack him. However, if you get super attacked after this, we could actually see the revival. We've gone from it probably not happening to us being very close to it happening right now. Which I kind of want it to happen just so we can see the support, but mainly so we can see the animations in the video, because why not? But Tech Broly's doing his thing. He's super attacking like 3-4 times with 20-30 mil each time. But I'll let you do your thing. Honestly, he's ridiculous. Super attack him. It doesn't look like it's happening. Friend Broly doing 27 million though. Again, the friend one I think is rainbowed. People saying he doesn't do enough damage. Are we sure? Like, I'll give it to you, fair play. He's not on the levels of some other units that have come out in the celebration, Easy A-wise and again counterpart-wise. But he's doing enough. Because he does so much and provides so much utility to other units in the game, and the categories, the supports, the revivals, etc, etc. He's doing enough. To me, he's doing enough. And actually, it looks like we could potentially get the revival. Who can I put in slot 1? Who's better to put in slot 1? Broly has damage reduction and type advantage. This man has guard and 200% defense. But we only have not even 3k HP. Get Super Me. Super Me in slot 1 so I can get the revival, please. That's exactly what I want. Super attack me so we can get the revival. Thank you. Thank you. We're getting it for the sake... Oh, no, we're not. We didn't do any damage. I think no matter who I put in slot 1, if it wasn't Kid Buu, we wouldn't have got it. That's fine. I didn't expect it to get it anyway, but we're very close to getting it, so hopefully we get it before the video ends. Hopefully we get it before the video ends. But then, if you do get the revival, Broly then gets 60% extra defense when receiving an attack after the character's or an ally's rival skill is activated. It will change Fizz Key Spheres to Int Key Spheres. And as I mentioned earlier, uncontrollable power category allies will get attack and defense plus 60% at the start of character's attacking turn, starting from the turn in which the character's rival skill is activated. And you know what? I'm going to break up the rotation. I'm going to let Turles go in slot 1. And hopefully again, we get super attacked. And that way we can die. I mean, every single... Actually, I probably should have put Tech LR Broly in slot 1 because Turles has all of his damage reduction. It was still enough. We got it. We got it. Play that shit. Honestly, love his animations. That is literally the cherry on top of how good he is and how well he works with all the other Broly units and on the teams he goes on. His animations are sensational. And then we've also got this man's domain ready. So, I mean, what? We're on turn 9, I think we're on. I mean, some fights to an extent could get to this point. And if it does, you can have 3 domains active in one fight. So we might as well. But he's also another unit that just benefits from so much support being influxed on the team. And so does everyone else. Again, within those 4 turns, the revival could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen, especially if you force it. But that's 40% defense to extreme class allies for 4 turns. If he revives, uncontrollable power category units are getting 60% attack and defense. Not only that as well, you have units like Easy A Team Turles supporting on this team. You can have a friend Broly, which means even more support on the team. And then not only that as well, you also have Kid Buu support on this team. There's so much support influx in this team, and Broly's just added every piece of utility this team didn't have. And they've probably made it one of the strongest teams in the game. So damage was a thing that this team didn't need any more of, because it has enough. Let's play out this final rotation, and we'll end up the video. Honestly, I love this Broly unit so much. And I love how good Anti-Destruction is, how good the new uncontrollable power category unit is. Well, not uncontrollable power category unit, but how uncontrollable power category is. And then also movie bosses as well. It's one of the strongest teams in the game. Tons of damage, tons of even attack potential. Damage reduction, guard on units, good defense. Not only that, as I said, a ton of support is going through these categories. Especially uncontrollable power. There's now a revival attached to it. There's orb changing. Could it be a little bit better? Sure. There's healing. As I said, combined with the Buu units, that healing will add up substantially. He's provided a lot to this team. I love this Broly unit a ton. And he's probably one of my favorite units in the team on the game right now. And this is probably one of my favorite teams and rotations in the game right now. So a lot of favorites are going on. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. And peace.